Dan Perry here with another Dan on Tech Python video. In this video, we're going to look at how we can work with those decisions inside of a program, and we're going to use the if statement to do that. Now, the if statement, you may have some statements and commands before it. Then you'll have your if statement, and you're going to ask a question. You're going to ask whether or not something is maybe greater than something else. And if that happens to be true, then you're going to execute the true side, and you'll have one or more Python statements inside that true side. If it is false, then you just skip it altogether, and then whatever other statements happen to be part of your program. So with the if statement, you ask a question. If the answer to that question is true, you're going to execute one or more statements. If the answer is false, then you're going to just skip that whole structure and go and execute the rest of the program. So I've got a program here ready to go, and it's asking for a couple of integers. It's going to ask for an integer and then ask to enter another integer. What we're going to do after those are entered is check to see if they're the same. So remember, equal equal is how we check for equality. So the statement we use, or the command we use, is if. We say if, in this case, A equal equal B, and then you use a colon to say this is the end of this if line, and now we're ready to go on and do whatever's at the true point. So I've got my colon, and I enter, and PyCharm automatically indents 4 spaces. When you're in a block of code, when you're part of a structure or block of code in Python, you indent 1 or more spaces. Python doesn't care if you indent 1 space, 4 spaces, or 40 spaces, as long as you always indent the same amount. The way that Python programmers do is they indent 4 spaces. The accepted practice for indentation is 4 spaces. It has indented us 4 spaces. If you want to use something other than 4, PyCharm has the ability to go in your settings, and you can change that to something other than 4, but I wouldn't do that. So what we're going to do here is print. What I'm going to do is I'm going to print the numbers are equal. And if I press enter at the end of the line, PyCharm says, well, I don't know if you're finished with this if statement, so I'm going to stay indented, thinking that you're going to put some more commands. In our case, we only have the one command, so I'll just backspace and it moves me back, and I'm now lined up with the if statement. And I'm going to just print a statement, and the statement I'm going to print is after the if. Don't need it there, but I just want to see and show you what happens whether or not you go into or out of the if. So now let's run this program. So I'll come over here. Since it's a new program, right click on it, say run, and it says enter an integer. It says and. I'm going to need to change that. And I'm going to put a 5. Enter another integer, and I'll put a 5 again. It says the numbers are equal. Where it says the numbers are equal, that is where it actually executed the lines inside the if statement. If I come up in my source code, that line is where it went into the if statement. It compared A and B. They were equal, so it went into the if statement, and then it comes out of the if statement and executes after the if. Well, let's try that again. We'll run it. It says enter an integer. I'll enter 5 again. Enter another integer. I'll enter a 10. This time, it should not be true. So it shows the two integers that I entered, the 5 and 10. Then it says after the if. What happened was it checked the if statement, said, hey, those two values are not true. A is not equal to B, so it skipped any commands that would have been part of the if statement and jumped down and did after the if. So when we went into the if statement, when it finished, it executed the commands after the if block. When it skips it, it just starts executing the commands after that block of if commands, or true. This is the true portion. That is a simple if. Thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos. Please check out and subscribe to our other Dan on Tech channel playlists.